Hi guys, Dorota Palicka, International Nail Artist and Educator here, and I'm in with Fiona. Today we are going to do a beautiful white set of the nails. So that's her old nails, and there is tutorial on them as well. I will just post it later on, after those nails obviously. And you can see we've got some white, we've got some pretty snowflakes, sugaring and encapsulated snowflake, which is really nice and pretty as well. And I will show you how I have done this set. So first of all, we need to rebalance those nails, and I have left 3 just to give you an idea how this set was created. So I'm using an e-file to remove the old product. Now on this nail, because we want to encapsulate the glitter, I want to remove more product. So I'm just filing away and I'm going to remove it more. Like kind of make the nail flat. They weren't old nails, only 3 weeks old. Normally Fiona goes 4 weeks, but obviously we wanted to work out Christmas appointments, so they nice and fresh. Okay, so I'm still removing a little bit more product in there, like nice and thin, so we can encapsulate the snowflakes. And I'm actually glad to be doing it because I can show you how to do it on the real nails, so it's easy for you guys. Now on this one we just removed the usual amount of the product, so I'm just filing away the color. You can also see it, I'm supporting from underneath Fiona's nails. Then this is a safety bead, which is awesome because you can file really close to the cuticle without hurting the client, and I love it. Okay, and then so that's one hand done, and I do exactly the same on the other hand. So just file away the color. You could actually put the e-file faster because it was only on 12 and normally I'm working 15, 16, which is much quicker. Okay, then we are going to go into our next step, which is push back the cuticles. So I'm just pushing back the cuticles. And you can see it, I'm just doing one hand first and then doing exactly the same thing on the other hand. And then using the cuticle bead, we are going to tidy up the cuticles. Like making sure there is nothing on the nail plate. I mean, there is some growth. It's not like a huge growth, but there is some growth on them. I'm working one side first on the one hand, then putting back into the reverse, and I'm doing the same on the other side. Now I can see it, I've got a little lifting in this corner here. So using a file we will get rid of it. E-file is always much quicker, but I will just do it with the hand. I'm filing one side and the other side. Nice and V-shape. Shorten the nail a little bit. Blend everything around the cuticle area. Like we don't want the old product to be kind of leaving the fill lines, so you really need to always blend that properly in. And then scratch the surface of the natural nail. And I like to use the corners of the file to do that, like making sure I've got the entire nail properly scratched. checking the length. And then if we shorten the length, we need to remove excess of the product from the free edge. Okay, do the same on this one. So one side, other side, shorten it. Again, check the length. We are almost there. Blend around the cuticle area. And then here I've got this lifting, so I need to file just a little bit more. See if there is any lifting. I like to give it a brush just so I can see what is going on in here. Now, if you don't want your clients to feel the heat fraction, I suggest if you've got lots of filing to do on the one nail, you just swap to another nail. This wasn't a lot of filing, so that's absolutely fine. I don't have to swap it, but normally I would just swap it. So I'm filing this nail now. One side, other side, get it into a nice coffin shape. And the nails always become much thicker if we shorten them, so you always need to remove those excess of the product from the free edge. And then give it a couple scratches. Okay, so that's my nails ready for a rebalance. Remove the dust, dehydrate with the blue scrub, like nice and squeaky clean. Then an extra nail prep, and an extra nail prep dehydrates the nail plate as well, and I'm only doing it at the natural nail. You don't have to do it on the extensions. And then universal air bond. Actually, the new ones have got a different lid, which I love it because it's so shiny as well. So I wait for the prep to dry, and then once it's dry, I can apply the universal air bond. Oh, come on, dry. And this nail, because it lifted in a corner, I'm just applying it twice, because it might be the nail like mine, which always likes to lift in a corner. Okay, now it's the time to encapsulate the glitter like a snowflake. And what we are going to do it is, I've got some back of the form, so I'm going to place in there a drop of the paint on French gel. So I'm just grabbing my brush, and we are going to pick up a small drop of the paint on French gel into that, and then grab some clear gel. I like the crystal one, with the tiny bit of the clear. Okay, so I'm just running through with the clear into my French, and what we are going to do it is we will just apply like a wavy line. With those paint on French gel. Okay, I'm just cleaning my brush properly, and on this nail we are going to straight away with the fiber gel in a light rose, because that's what we have used previously for this set. So a nice and thin layer there. Through the entire nail, and then pick up a small scoop and fill up the apex. Wait for it to self-level a little bit and then we can cook it. Okay, I'm going to do it the same on this hand. So nice and thin layer through the entire nail. Like making sure you have those free edge and you go through every single place with this thin layer. Then pick up the scoop of the product, let it release from the brush. And it's actually helpful when the client nail is going down the way a little bit, because then the gravity helps you. So you can see I've got the scoop, which I have filled up my apex. And now what I'm doing is I'm pressing a little bit harder just to smooth it out. So I don't want any more product at my free edge because there's no point. We've got plenty product in there. Perfect, change. Now this hand needs to cook, so I don't need the fiber gel anymore. Now we want to place the snowflake in here. So what I'm doing is I'm picking up a small scoop of the clear gel and apply it through the middle. So nice and thin layer. And then we are going to pick up the snowflakes. So we've got those boxes of the snowflakes. They've got come in different sizes. Obviously the larger ones are harder to encapsulate, and that's what we are going to use today. And for that, what I did, we have picked up those beautiful pink one. Okay, so pink snowflake, and you can see it's really sticking out from the sides. So what we are going to do is grab the pinching clamp, and I've got actually, and this is actually better than the cling film. So it's just a clear foil, and that's actually from the packaging from the files, but you could use any one. And I quite like it because it's pretty stiff. It's not as soft as the cling film. Okay, so it's pretty stiff, clear stuff, which I'm just applying on top of my snowflake. Okay, once I've got it on top of my snowflake, I pull it down a little bit. I place my snowflake where I want it. I make sure it's nice and flat, and then I place the pinching clamp over it just to hold it in place. Then I check if it's definitely didn't move and if it's nice and flat, and if it is, we are going to change the hands. Okay, this hand is actually ready, so I can use the UV cleanser to remove the inhibition layer, get rid of the snowflakes and the gels. Like, you want to always make sure you've got quite nice and clean desk, because you don't want to contaminate your products with the dust for refiling. Perfect. I take the snowflake hand. So I have flash cured just for a couple seconds even, and then I can peel this away. And now it's a time to encapsulate it in a clear gel. So I'm picking up a scoop of the clear gel. Nice and thin layer. Nice and thin layer. And then build up my apex. So I'm picking up a decent amount of the product now. And just building up my apex and encapsulating my snowflake in it. Inside. Okay, let's quickly file those nails. So I can put this on the side. And then we are going to file it. So one side, other side, like make sure we've got a nice coffin shape. And you can already see by those two movements we have really improved the shape of the nail. So I'm just removing the excess of the product from the free edge, blend everything around the cuticle area. And then use the buffer. Just to smooth it out. sorry. It's okay. Okay, that's this nail almost nice. And then we can tidy up the cuticles. Okay, so I'm just gently removing the raggy cuticles. And depending on the client, sometimes I do it before I apply the product, and sometimes I do it after I have finished a filing. So in a case of cuticles which are pretty nice, I will do it after I have applied the product and after I have filed. And in a case of really bad cuticles, I would remove what I need from the nail plate, because on the nail plate I never can have any cuticle. So I always remove that and then tidy up the nail folds. So that's what is on the finger, like not on the nail plate, after I finish the filing. So it's really all kind of individual depending on the client. Now let's do a filing on this one. And because we have put plenty of the clear gel over it, we don't have to worry that we will overfile it. So again, the same filing technique, like one side and other side, like making sure we've got a nice coffin shape. Then go and blend around the cuticle area. Like everything needs to be nice in here. So it already looks better, and then smooth the entire nail. And then come into this nail. Thin out the free edge. Now a good tip, guys, for you, if you are painting with the white gel polish is always tricky. White gel polish shows any imperfections. After you have finished the nails and you think you are 100% ready to go and you want to start painting them, stop it, pick up the buffer and give it a couple more scratches to smooth the surface of the nail again, even if you think they are perfect. That will make your white application even much nicer, because as I say, white shows any imperfections quite strongly. So it is definitely the most tricky gel polish to apply, I would say, white. Okay, then go into the buffer again. Buff it nice. And you can see it, I'm pushing back the cuticles even more just before I start painting with the buffer. Let me check the length again. And then same on this one. You can also see I'm holding Fiona's finger from underneath as well. I'm protecting her cuticles. I don't want her to be hurt, especially that I'm working with a really sharp buffer. So push back those cuticles again. and do an extra bath even if you're happy with it. I'm just going to shorten them a little bit because I feel they are too long. Then tidy up the cuticles, and we're ready for a design part. Oh guys, I had questions like people asking me like, oh yeah, but you constantly touch the nails with the fingers. So I never touch before I apply the gel. Like if I want to apply the gel, that's it. I'm not going to ever touch it again because yes, it would affect the lasting time. So you can see it, I'm touching it now, but then I will clean it, everything with the blue scrub again, just because I have been touching, and that's why I have no troubles. So, and then after I have dehydrated, I wouldn't touch it again. Okay, so in general, for students, when they just starting their new career, we always say no matter what, you cannot touch the nails just because it could be maybe too complicated to understand that you can kind of touch them, but only if you dehydrate them afterwards, okay? So that's how it works. So what I'm doing now is I'm taking the dust brush, I'm giving a good clean, then blue scrub to dehydrate them. So before I start painting, I'm dehydrating them to make sure everything is going to last nice. Cool. We are going to use a color which is called Tic Tac White 173. And this is what we are going to do on this nail here. Okay, so apply those Tic Tac White. You didn't see that, guys, touching my skin. Never touch your skin with the products. Okay, inside. And then on this one, we are going to do the same. So we are going to paint white in here. Now, if you're really fussy, what you could do is take a small brush and you could pick up a tiny bit of the gel polish on the brush and you could go around the cuticle area like this. Then on this one, we are going to do the paint on French gel. So what I'm doing is I'm doing the outline first. And now I can perfect it. Okay, just making sure it's nice. Okay, and then we are going to swap to the D-liner, which is much faster. and we will paint the other part of this design. So I suggest you go with the kind of V shape to start with. It is going to be much easier. So like go into a V shape. And then once you have done those V shape, make it as a smile line. I'm not bothered about the free edge yet because I'm really concentrating on those shape here. And then once I'm happy, I can just color it in. And I choose a paint on French gel for that because with the gel polish it would take us just too long time. Like paint gels are always better. Okay, now just hold your breath, don't move. Okay, and now I'm happy, so we can give it a cure. Okay, on this hand we are going to apply a second layer of the white. And on this nail straight away with the top coat. Which I'm fishing for because it's at the end. Perfect. Change. Okay, we have to apply a second layer on this nail. And because we need to cure the other hand, I'm going to start building up the snowflake in the middle finger. I'm making sure the white is nice. Move that a bit, sorry. And then start building the snowflake. So on those piece of back of the form, we are going to apply some base gel. So soak of base gel, and this is awesome for the crystals. Like I find that they always last much better with it. And right in the middle, we are going to apply cool crystals. So I'm starting with the large one, I think so. Can I see the other hand? No, I didn't go as large actually. We could go, but no, let me grab this one away. So I'm not going as large, I'm going medium size. Perfect. Inside? No? Swap? That's it. Okay, this one is top coated and the other one is top coated as well. So we are going to use the paint on French gel, which I've got in there. So paint on French gel. To draw some snow. And the particles which are outside, I want them to kind of be a little bit longer and then work around the snowflake. Okay, so the ones which are in between the snowflake arms, they can be longer, and the ones which are on top of it, you want them shorter. And then the longer one, because we've got some empty space here. Short. And very long. And then straight away I'm going to apply the top coat. Like, make sure you apply kind of really decent amount of the top coat. And then we are going to use stuff which is called Pixel Effect, and that's from the Indigo, and this one is Snow White. So I'm just sprinkle the entire nail. Tap to remove the excess, and then sprinkle the entire nail. And tap to remove the excess. Change. Okay, so here I can quickly place 1, 2, 3 dots, and then here 4 lines. So right on the top we are going to use the larger crystal. Then a one size smaller. And then the tiny one. Now, I don't like when the boxes are too full of the crystals, because then it's harder to pick them up. So I have split some of it into the lid, just so it's easier for me. Then I've got 1, 2, 1. See, it's also easier to place the crystals if you do, like I have cured this middle one, and now I can kind of push my crystals against it. So it's easier for me, especially when we're working with such a small crystals, it's easier to kind of release them from the gem picker. Okay, making sure they are nice place. Let me check the other hand for a second. So I've got 2, and then, okay, perfect, you can put it back in. Okay, and then at the end we are going to do three dots. 1, 2, 3. Now, see, doing so many wintry sets of the nails, that now it is going to be hard for me to think of something nice for myself. Because I quite like this idea as well. I could wear it. You know, it's not over the top. It's really, really nice. And of course, I love the blink and sugar as well. So I'll have no choice. I will have to go blue or pink. No, because wanted white. And the last one. So this is almost finished, guys. Okay, making sure it's nice and straight. Check the other crystals didn't move. Change your hands. Okay, so this hand is finished, and what I can do is just clean the excess. I can see it. Clean the hands and apply cuticle oil. Show you the final look of those nails. I think they look super pretty, actually. Okay, I take the other hand, so we can finish the snowflake here as well. Then the next step is another 4 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then some silver caviar beads. The nicest part out of all of it is the smile of the client at the end of the service, which is so awesome. But I'm going to struggle with my nails now. I have no choice. I will have to go pink. Or maybe gold. Gosh, or silver. But I definitely fancy a crystal snowflake. So I'll have to think of a different one now. See, what I love the most about like doing the client's nails, especially for those ones who let me pick, what we can do is like they kind of never go with the same set of the nails and no one else is having them, because it's not fun doing the same thing a few times. Cool, this one goes in, so just flash cure it, and then cuticle oil on the other hand, so we can have a nice thumbnail picture. I take it back. So for a flash cure, you don't need a long cure, just a really couple seconds. Now here we are going to place last three crystals. And then this hand is going to be also ready as well, and we can just top coat it. So and I do really suggest you kind of flash cure it after you're happy with the one part, because it's much easier to place the crystals and all. Like even now the caviar beads are flashed cure, so I can kind of push the crystal against it, and it's much easier. Otherwise you will just struggle and the crystals will keep moving, which makes things much more time consuming. Okay, so just move them into the right place, and we've got another very pretty nail, flash cure it, so a couple seconds. That gives me a time to clean the stuff away so I do not drop them. And then we can apply the top coat, so I take it back. So it's really just a couple seconds flash cure. Now with those kind of crystals combination, it would take me such a long time to go with the small brush around it. I'm just putting the top coat through the entire crystals combination, but try to don't float the crystals with it. You could go also around with the small brush. Fiona, I have to make sure she doesn't lose any crystals. She is actually really heavy-handed with her nails. And then apply the top coat in here. Again, I'm not top coating the large crystal. I want to have a nice blink, but I'm top coating the end one, just so we've got nice and smooth transition. Perfect, cook it in. So this way she doesn't lose them, Debbie. Yeah, and that's the final look of those nails which we have created today. I'm sending you lots of glittery hugs, and bye for now.